And usually on the high ground, you control those engages, and we'll see what GC Busan Wave will come out with in a second. But speaking of Hollywood in general, kind of favoring maybe GC Busan Wave because they did take this map against Runaway, while as on Hollywood, Fusion Uni dropped this against WGS, who are currently winless, if that gives you any context. So now the doors are open. GC Busan Wave sent Jonggu on a scout, and now the somber 3-2-1 with the Reinhardt of Jonggu will be what they end up with.
Yeah, so the 3-2-1 versus the 3-3 Fusion University going to be able to set the tone early as they can dictate when the fights happen. GC Busan Wave, on the other hand, looking to try to pull them from this position quickly so that with their rotation, they can set up an ideal fight. You can see Bernard set up as well just to create a boop. And once they get that boop, they can jump down and isolate a target.
Oh, but he's trapped himself. That's usually where people like to rotate, is from security towards that right side. So he almost could have been body blocked in there. He does manage to get out. Extra ult charge for him a little bit. As now the high ground held by GC Busan Wave, now they can control the pace of the game, working on towards getting that energy from Ritz up, and then finding that moment of when they want to drop down.
You can see Bernard taking his time going up the elevator, setting up, getting ready to go for yet another boot play if they can. Even Fuse getting involved, working that left side as well, trying to get into position where they can create any kind of opening to take out GC Busan Wave from this high ground. In the meantime, Edison building that EMP, plenty of time to be doing just that. And once that comes online, Fusion University, they will not have an answer unless Alarm is quick with this Transcendence.
Yeah, it didn't seem like GC Busan Wave cared about the neutral fight, and now that they're getting closer to grab an EMP, now they step onto the point. But Futiny are there to deny that first take, but losing nice early. Don't have that damage mitigation, and then GC Busan Wave just pounced on it after that. Dealing with the rest of the front line, they still throw in the grab, maybe, don't even need it, but you still have so much more EMP shatter for the next doorway fight.
Yeah, probably didn't need it, but at least now you can start your ult rotations, right? Now you, like you mentioned, you have the EMP shatter, that lowers shields, makes it very easy to hit static targets. You can build with high energy that graviton back up, and you're also maintaining that time bank. Rather than waiting to try to kill off Fusion University slowly, you make that a very quick process. So time bank in their favor, start to build that next graviton, get Edison into position for the EMP.
There's that EMP, but Alarm stayed hidden with that Transcendence. Unfortunately, Chongsing just got bursted immediately, and the Shatter is plan B for Jonggu. Completely annihilates Fusion Uni. So far, so much momentum behind GC Busan Wave.
And look at that too. Ritz already at 75% towards that next graviton. So things working out very nicely for them. On top of that, they maintain all three of their support ults. And we can see Edison halfway to yet another EMP despite just utilizing that. However, now Fusion University, as they're approaching this defensive fight, now looking for a retake, re-engaging here with virtually everything. Although, of course, they don't have the Transcendence. They have everything else that they could possibly need to win this fight, but have to do it quickly.
Well, this is where Funi want to win this fight. They have grab, gonna throw it out. The barrier from Daydream doesn't come out. It's Fielder's Transcendence that he gets again. Keeps them up. GC Busan Wave don't drop any members. Now it's their turn to throw the grab, and they layer it with the EMP, but not able to cancel that barrier from Fuse. Still Funi drop 2 and now 3. They will have to give this one up, but they should be able to get back quick enough to recontest before the end of point B.
GC Busan Wave just looking so strong, and the follow-up on the EMPs have been huge as well. Fuse was there to make the right play, got the sound barrier off. I mean, you can't help that Snillo got blown up in the matter of a frame. So you definitely can't defend him against that, but Fuse making the right play, just not enough. GC Busan Wave's follow-up just too strong, and now Fusion University, everybody does have that close spawn, so they want to take this aggressive fight as best they can.
Too aggressive. Soon as the doors cracked, Nice just got blown up, so losing more. It's actually a 1-to-1 trade, and you see GC Busan Wave use that bear for the engage, finding Bernard, catching him out. Now GC Busan Wave really haven't lost a fight, matching ults. Now moving up, they'll have almost everything they need to finish off this map with a great time bank.
Edison so close to another EMP. Ritz has just been, very valuable so far. 2 grabs working out in their favor. Might have a third coming up here as well. Might need it as well, as Fusion University are backing GC Busan Wave off of the point right now, but giving time to GC Busan Wave to build up that EMP. Edison now in position.
And he's in the back, and he nails Fusion Uni, but Alarm stays hidden again, but the shatter from Jonggu. will get Bernard down, should get him out of mech, and everyone who was trying to protect Bernard in the first place. Unfortunate at that, but fortunate for GC Busan Wave. We're now looking at that VIP parking lot with the large time bank, and Funi need to get back and set up this grab, but they actually get grabbed and spawn. Is there anyone there to touch? Funi couldn't do anything.
This has been clinical from GC Busan Wave. Fusion University, it doesn't seem like there's any hope at all for them to be able to make a fight go in their way. I mean, we saw really strong play there from Edison, and then the follow-up that was there as well. Jonggu playing the Reinhardt exceptionally well. You see the EMP go out. They instantly look for Chongsik. They know Fuse doesn't have the sound barrier there as well, so the only thing that could reliably keep everybody alive is the Transcendence, but the Shatter drops everybody to the floor, and that allows you time to set up so that you can follow up, get kills once that Transcendence comes down. Fusion University, there's just no hope to be able to sustain through that.
But all of Jonggu's shatters have found value this map every time. And it's whether it's Chongsik's fault or maybe he's kind of looking back and trying to help his team, can't always be focused on the other Reinhardt. And I've been also noticing the play style of Bernard kind of playing away from the team, right? Either on a high ground, you saw him close to security, not on the high ground on the point. He's going for more ult charge as the diva, but then you lose the damage mitigation, and that's maybe one of the reasons Chongsik is also getting bursted down and dying first in a lot of these fights.
And it's interesting that they aren't winning those shield trades as well, because with GC Busan Wave not having the diva and going for the Sombra, you would expect Fusion University, I mean, just compositionally speaking, they should have the advantage in that regard, but that has not been the case. So far, GC Busan Wave has really put Fusion University to the test. They haven't been able to actually win, I don't think, any of the shield trades so far. Even that first neutral fight went the way of GC Busan Wave. So Fusion University have to make sure that their neutral fights are a lot cleaner to make sure that they can take advantage of the fact that they have the diva as opposed to GC Busan Wave who don't. And now actually establishing a new win condition, Alarm swapping over to the Ana, who can get biotic grenades freely down in there without GC Busan Wave having the diva in play.
But I also think it's because of the nano, right? Chongsik has been losing Rein duels, and the nano's exactly to give your Rein that extra advantage. Sacrificing the Transcendence, sure, now relying more on Fuse, as now bit rotation towards the underground. Funi stuck in there for a second, getting your cooldowns back, making sure your shield is nice and healthy. Or they could play it like GC Busan did, of waiting for their ultimates before engaging, but Chongsik playing so aggressive. Look, he's already at 86+% shatter. Do they even know he has it? Slams it down and it's blocked. Jonggu reads him like a book. Biotic though did wound GC Busan a little bit, but the nano from Alarm, because Funi took so much damage, now they can try and stand tall. Chongsik playing so aggressive, did expose a little bit of his midline. You saw Bernard and Snillo dropping. So Funi not in a comfortable position to get this point, and now someone's getting body blocked. Fuse is not allowed to leave. Oh no.
We should be against bullying at tier 2, but I guess we're not.
Fusion University.
That's okay. Well, Fusion University, they do drop a minute and a half in the process, and not only that, but GC Busan Wave, they've got the EMP and the Graviton.
Oh, 6-man EMP. Good night, Fusion Uni. But hey, silver lining, you lose this one quick. Try not get body blocked into small rooms. Don't want to waste too much time here. It's about 2 minutes left.
Oh, and taken for a ride. Bernard now
he's gonna get stalled.
The new
now
victim.
Bernard's turn.
Your lunch money! Sorry. Bernard, he's gonna be taken out, but again, another late stall. GC Busan Wave just kind of toying with their food at this point. Fusion University still needing to have a little bit more time to build into those ultimates that they're going to need. GC Busan Wave in the meantime, I mean, they still have that grab to rely on from Ritz. They have the high ground control, and they've done really well in the neutral fights as well.
Yeah, we need the team to follow Chongsik. He was playing really well, you know, the shatter did get blocked. But as long as they follow up with him and don't allow GC Busan Wave to get through, Bernard doesn't let the grab get through. These are the types of plays we like to see. Now Funi get on the point. GC Busan Wave have a lot of energy though, and losing their shield. They do not want to give more ult charge. See if they'll give up a tick or two. See if they can get Jonggu back, but actually just focusing on the high ground, they'll give it up.
Yeah, they want to reestablish high ground control here. They know that they're not going to be able to get in there because Fusion University, I mean, if you're ult tracking here, you expect Nice to have the Graviton, so worst case scenario, you go in there, you get grabbed. Yeah, sure, you pull the grab out, but everything else is going to be available, and you have just given them the opportunity to walk through that choke that you would love to hold them in, especially with Edison so close to the EMP.
Oh, so much energy. The grab is thrown from the attack, but an EMP counter fuse counters just the EMP with a barrier. So Puny didn't drop anyone here, and now Chongsik wants the tango, gets the nano, shatters everyone into oblivion. Transcendence from Fielders, way too much damage coming out of Puny to heal through that. It was an expensive fight, but Puny buy themselves some meters on the cart.
Yeah, sometimes utilizing everything you've got is exactly what you have to do, especially just to kind of equalize that ultimate economy. You want to make sure that that doesn't go too far in favor of GC Busan Wave. Otherwise, you're going to lose control of this matchup. And Fusion University, knowing that, they are now kind of equalizing, at least for now, but have to win this neutral fight to keep this going.
Trying to get that shield out from Jonggu, and he did also receive bubble just in case he didn't. Fusion Uni now. Nice, he can't die here. You're depending on the grab, but you're actually winning the neutral fight without it. GC Busan Wave lacking a shield, and now this is all kinds of free damage from Puny. Finally, we're seeing some gas in the tank from them, getting some momentum, getting their confidence back, as they will secure point B.
Nice going forward. You can see that they're actually going to be able to catch a few, perhaps, although with most of the members of Fusion University still pushing that payload forward, they're not able to get as aggressive as they would like. And in the meantime, Edison still doing what he does best, which is farm Bernard. And that allows him to get that EMP up quickly. And once he gets it, okay, well, we've seen the Nene grab come out.
He was trying to get Edison. He was trying to get Edison with a grab, and he translocated out. So not a great move from Nice. GC Busan Wave getting punished with the EMP, but actually Puny don't drop anyone. Now it's the nano that goes on to Chongsik. He tries to go forward. Wright slows everything down with the grab. So many ults as I'm trying to catch up, telling you guys what's going on. But all that matters, Puny heading right back to that spawn room and gonna try for another fight.
Yeah, and it feels bad too, because that is technically the right play to go for. If you nail that grab onto Edison, you take away their win condition of the EMP, and you can actually win that fight from there. It's just unfortunate that they don't land it, just as we saw from Nene before in Overwatch League with the first time that happened. But Fusion University now, they've got the Shatter v Shatter coming up here. Need to get Chongsik ahead in this duel against Jonggu. It's been a struggle so far.
Yeah, Edison also trying to build up EMP, but self-destruct making a ton of room, force them back. Oh, the shatter from Jonggu comes down. Alarm on the floor. GC Busan Wave following up with it, forcing Puny back as soon as they've lost their Reinhardt. I'm liking how toe-to-toe these fights have been so far.
Yeah, so Fusion University with certainly a lesser time bank should they finish. Still obviously need to finish here if they want to be able to stay alive and hope to see yet another map 5, but Edison with the EMP yet again has it available. They're giving us some armor so you can set up, get the position.
I think his shield got broken too. The nano is given to Chongsik. The grab from Nice catches a few, and also Wright, I think, exchanged a grab during that. You see Puny are up in kills, only losing Snillo. Trying to stabilize back on this cart, get rid of these supports from GC Busan Wave, stalling this one out. That's the fight they needed to take. They have some time, but not a lot.
Well, Fusion University, we'll have to see where Fuse wants to play. You can see him getting very far forward, but needs to actually get out of line of sight from Edison, where he's going to be setting up that EMP. Has to be able to answer the EMP with the sound barrier if Fusion University want to keep this push going forward.
Now EMP shatter from GC Busan Wave. They can be patient with this and just win the overtime fight, or later on just kind of drain the time. They don't have to play far forward, especially when they have the defense position. Shatter from Chongsik gets 2, actually 3 down from GC Busan Wave. The rally has started. Fielder stays alive, thankfully, but what's crucial is Puny losing their Reinhardt, immediately trying to get out, as they should be able to force out one last fight.
Yeah, that was a fight that Fusion University needed to force the ultimates out from GC Busan Wave, but going in, all they pulled out was the rally. That EMP Shatter still available, the Transcendence still available, so Fusion University, now they have to rely on Fuse yet again, and what's going to be the final fight, the final opportunity for them to go the distance here. But at least this time around, Fusion University have a lot more weapons in their arsenal.
That was that first grab, countered by the EMP from Edison.
Oh, he found
there
Fuse.
with the Transcendence. Fuse can't get the barrier out in time to save them. He still goes for it despite being down your Zarya and Ryan, but you can't give this one up at this point. There's only a few seconds left. The grab traps Fuse exactly where they want in the grasp of Junggu. And there you have it. GC Busan Wave will take the 3-0 over Fusion University.
Yeah, and that holds them very firmly now at 4th place. GC Busan Wave at 3-2, currently sitting very comfortably at 11-9 at the moment. Could make it 12-9, could make it 11-10. We'll have to see as they are 3-2 here. And now, on the other hand, Fusion University, they're dropping to 1-4.
Yeah, 1-4, but what's important is that no matter if this is a 3-1 or a 4-0, because of the map differential, Funi should still stay in 6th place, so still in playoff contention. But now this kind of brings the question of who will be climbing into that 6th place. As we will start to a quick break, and we will see you guys for map 4. We're in the 4th map between GC Busan Wave and Fusion Uni, where maybe a sad ending for Fusion Uni, but they're still having a chance to help their map differential. And as I was finishing up my point before the break, they are still in 6th place despite the loss. But their match against Meta Athena next week will determine if Meta Athena can maybe climb back into that 6th place.
Yeah, Meta Athena, a team kind of on the rise right now. I mean, a huge win against
yesterday.
Element Mystic in a game 5 yesterday. That was massive. I mean, that really could have been a big turning point, could wind up being a big turning point for them in this season that could actually steal away a spot from Fusion University, who otherwise certainly felt infinitely more comfortable than they did, 48 hours ago or so, because that was before the game win with Meta Athena, and they're lost now to GC Busan Wave. But as we mentioned, at least there is a silver lining here. GC Busan Wave very, very comfortable at the moment, sitting at 3-2 in 4th place, I believe, right now in the standings. Runaway just above them. But we're talking about a team that GC Busan Wave, last season kind of middle of the pack a little bit, but now bouncing back in a big way. Definitely a tremendous force right now to be reckoned with, and even more so, I think, once we see that 2-2-2 lock coming in.
I'm super excited for that in playoffs. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come into Contenders chat like, why isn't this 2-2-2? We're going to see that in playoffs, so we'll see how that affects all the teams. Rialto will be your map 4, where if GC Busan Wave maybe get that 4-0, if Runaway don't get an ideal result, you could see some shifts in the standings. But don't worry, guys. We'll make sure to update you at the end of the day to see how everything looks.
So Rialto moving on into an escort map where Fusion University, this hasn't been a good map type for them over the course of the season. This has kind of been the bane of their entire existence, is going up 2-1 in a series and then dropping the 4th map, the escort map, and then forcing into a game 5 where, win or lose, you never want to be in that situation to begin with. So the good news, however, is that GC Busan Wave, they haven't been particularly strong on this map type so far either. Still, though, with the way that this matchup has been going, you would expect GC Busan Wave to just continue forward, be able to pull this one out as well and get a clean 4-0.
Yeah, both these teams are 0-1 on Rialto, especially an entirety 1-3 on Escort. So both these teams, this is not their strongest game type. The silver lining being Funi lost this to O2 Blast, which is an amazing team, I think, still in 1st place. While GC Busan Wave lost this to Meta Athena, which, I mean, they look kind of really good right now, so the context isn't always there, but it will be Funi defending first, and they're going back to what they know best, and kind of like they did on Hollywood, which is the 3-3.
So Fusion University, yeah, I mean, that was a decent look for them. Still, though, the worry is that if Fusion University comes out with this on defense, GC Busan Wave sees it, responds in turn with the 3-2-1. But you can see Ion and Alpha E both coming in, Jongru and Delight having gotten the 3-0, sitting down, taking a little breather, a deserved one as well. But GC Busan Wave still, I mean, you're not talking about bringing in the subs, bringing in the bench at all. You're talking about still high caliber talent on this roster right now, still in place. All 6 of these players for GC Busan Wave still very, very high tier.
Yeah, I've been liking GC Busan Wave's versatility in their substitutions. You're seeing Ion and Jonggu will usually share the map 1, map 2s, 3s and 4s. But like I said earlier on this series, it's usually Junggu and Alpha Yi. As now, Fuse almost getting caught out early, trying to ride the walls, go for a boop, but it's Daydream that sends Snillo swimming. Now JC Busan Wave, take a bit of space here, take a breather at least. Just getting around this corner should be normal.
Yeah, and this is the worry that I had, actually, that I was talking about. Fusion University, they come out with the 3-3. Well, GC Busan Waves, they know exactly what they could do to deal with this. The 3-2-1, exactly how they got the win on Hollywood. Edison back on the Sombra, generating that EMP, just doing his best of, you know, farming the EMP off of Bernard, as Bernard likes to play out on an island, as you mentioned previously, and he can just take advantage of that.
Now stepping back onto the cart, Funi using that speed, playing very aggressive. GC Busan Wave taking a step back. They're relying on Edison to bait them into this EMP. Throws the translocator out. EMP dropped. No support ultimates ready for Funi. Chongsik especially gets deleted at the start. No shield for Funi. This is going to be a difficult fight for them to retake.
Oh, and into the water should Bernard go. Well, never not mind. He's going to die by the hand of Ion. But GC Busan Wave, with two different players now in this roster for this map here, they don't look any worse at all for it. I mean, they look just as strong as ever. Ion, of course, really solid. Alpha Yi coming in on the brig. You can see how they definitely wanted to go for a different approach, but the 3-2-1 still going to be a solid effort from them. We've seen this exact roster play this type of composition as well, so it's nothing new to them at all.
Now it's a grab situation, trance to trance. As now that rally starts early, Knight throws out the grab. Ritz holds on to his. They only lose one. Or actually, the Fusion Uni lose one. Their Lucio disengages, missing as Ritz throws in his grab, and so much more effective. That high energy. They can play farther forward. JC Busan Wave finding more value in that fight.
Not only that, but EMP still at the ready for Edison. They could still pull that out after expending one earlier, but now off of this, Fusion University, they're gonna have their support ults ready to go to be able to try at least to answer, but still that combination with the Shatter, Ion going for it.
EMP Shatter sends everyone flying, but like you said, the Transcendence from Alarm just in time-ish. She didn't save Snillo, but only losing one to EMP Shatter, not that bad. The JC Busan Wave survive a little bit more sustain here with the barrier as they clean up Funi. And now we're a pretty nice time bank to head into C.
Yeah, that's I think the problem that Fusion University has fallen into time and time again, where you see the EMP come out, the Shatter come down, and Alarm's Transcendence simply isn't enough, because once that duration wears out, Fusion University have no legs left to stand on, and that's when GC Busan Wave gets the kills. So they're okay with the fact that the Transcendence comes out, because then they can have the grab go down and nothing can save them.
Yeah, nice with the grab. Funi go for it again. And a biotic from Alarm, but the Shatter's even bigger from Ion and Chongsik both, making it so hard for either team to follow up with their setups. This barrier from Fuse helped Funi get a bit of an early advantage, but nice energy is what's kind of saving Funi in this fight if they can even survive. As GC Busan recognized Nice was a danger, they take care of him. And now, GC Busan Wave pushing this cart forward.
Massive play there as well from Alarm, setting in the biotic grenade to make sure that they're able to still get kills despite the Transcendence coming up from Fielder. Now GC Busan Wave going into this final stretch here, rounding that last corner. EMP out from Edison.
Oh, and he just gave the nano to Chongsik. He wants to play Overwatch. GC Busan Wave won't let him. And Ion, though, took too much damage. The nano was just enough for one last swing. Now GC Busan Wave finally slowed things down a little bit. And Fusion Uni chasing after a little bit more extra ult charge. Now they'll have the advantage in the last fight, or at least in the fight coming up.
Yeah, and Fusion Uni want to play this next fight a little bit more aggressively here. They're going to let GC Busan Wave come up, and as soon as we see an overextension be made, they want to make sure that they drop that grab, pull out a support ult, and make sure that they're able to get some follow-up, get some cleave into that as well. GC Busan Wave don't have any offensive momentum shifting ultimates at all.
He was looking for a bit of a flank grab, but you can see the team just wanted to play closer into spawn, having that advantage, having the walls, a lot of protection there, but Sport Ultimate's online for GC Busan Wave. They should be able to survive this grab and hopefully get Edison online with the EMP. 4 Fuse, hopefully. Nice, getting low HP, could not lose him there, that was crucial. as now Funi have really slowed down the pace of the game here.
Yeah, and interesting too, because Edison, being on that Sombra, they don't want to have it go down too slow, and that's it. The Graviton down.
Graviton out, Chongqing not getting the Reinhardt out of the picture, but the Transcendence. But the Biotic. Again, GC Busan Wave don't actually lose any bodies, and they lost their grab from Bernard. I think it's maybe his second or third he's eaten this series. GC Busan Wave used that EMP, I believe, but it didn't really do much. But Fusion Uni losing 3. The fuse barrier coming too late, but just enough maybe to keep Bernard alive for some stall. But GC Busan Wave with almost 2 minutes will complete the map.
And Fusion Uni looked a lot better at that final corner, but unfortunately for them, GC Busan Wave basically just kind of walked it right on through to that point, so they had plenty of time to get there. 1:54 is their final time bank here, and now Fusion Uni on an attack of their own. I would imagine they go for the 3-3. It would really surprise me if they went for something entirely different here on this map, but as you can see, GC Busan Wave investing everything aggressively into this final fight, able to catch Fuse off guard a little bit as well, killing Nice before that sound barrier could come out, and that was critical to their capturing of this point, because with Nice out of the picture, Fusion University simply does not have the damage to take GC Busan Wave down.
It just felt like fight after fight for GC Busan Wave. I like that Fusion Uni made some adaptations, right, to have Alarm on the Ana to give Chongqing just that extra oomph that he needed on the front line, which now it's a little bit more stable between the two, especially now you're going against a new opponent of Ion, who knows how warmed up the guy is, but still looking pretty good coming in a map 4.
So Fusion University at the moment have a really tough task ahead of them, right? I mean, 1:54 is a pretty solid time bank, especially considering what you expect to see going into that last corner on second, rounding the building, and then also the final corner where you saw GC Busan Wave also kind of halted for a moment there as well. So you have to get through those really tough choke points, as well as that first one on point A. Each one of these stages has a really tough choke to get through, especially when you're actually going against the 3-3 or 3-2-1, in fact, that GC Busan Wave has. So Fusion University, seeing this composition, making the swap themselves as Nice at the moment, still actually hanging on to this Hanzo pick.
Yeah, you can go onto this high ground, a little bit more shield break. Bernard forced to play the Zarya, but now GC Busan Wave dropped down, chasing after a few. Mainly Chongqing, who was too far forward. And again, not having that diva, a little bit less damage mitigation, but just taking their time at the moment.
The other thing too with this composition is that you have the ability to go for the Grav Dragon combination as well, and that can secure team fights if you can actually make sure that you have a little bit more cleave to go through and push that extra little bit of damage that you need to get kills inside of a Transcendence that Fielder should have for those combos. Otherwise, Fusion University should be able to at least utilize that as a win condition from fight to fight.
And Edison, if he hangs around this high ground, he could get free hacks over Fusion Uni, who kind of recognize that, and they want to send someone in there just to make sure Edison isn't too comfortable up there. But Bernard, very high energy. This is the moment where Fusion Uni can engage with their Lucio. Ion's playing very far forward, starting to break down the shield. A hack goes on to Bernard, though. And as Fusion Uni take their time, they're very low health pools at the moment, but so is Ion, and Edison's coming up to EMP, and Alarm doesn't have Transcendence yet, as the Dragon is sent far forward at the not as best angle and not getting it with the Graviton. Bernard was late on that, maybe a miscommunication due to the hack. Either way, Funi not getting the combo they want, so they will have to take a step back.
Yeah, so hard to get the cleave down on that one as well, since GC Busan Wave disengaged so well. And this is some of the best play that we've seen from GC Busan Wave, and it definitely shocked us when we saw them taking down Runaway, but this is almost no surprise. With the way that we're seeing them play, that disengage was so solid to get away from Fusion University and out sustain, then get the turnaround with the EMP as well. That's high tier play right there.
Yeah, he's looking for the grab, and here comes Fusion Uni like a train, but gets stopped immediately by that grab. Transcendence is up for Alarm. Still staying alive, even taking care of Ritz, who's trying to follow up with that. Fusion Uni will be able to clear A.
So it looks like they should be able to capture this. Now just going forward on the bridge, making sure that they're playing as aggressively as they need to make sure that they get their ultimates online. But something to make note of here is that Nice, he's able to get that Dragon Strike quickly. Not going to have the follow-up, or rather the setup, of the Graviton, so might want to expend this one early into this fight and at least clear the high ground away from GC Busan Wave should they take this staircase away from Fusion University. Then he builds another Dragon Strike for the combination in the coming fight.
It looked like he was staring down the doorway to put that dragon up, but maybe just to dislodge him from the high ground will be the value he's looking for. Meanwhile, someone is back pushing the cart from Funi. It's all about dislodging the defense from the staircase, but now Funi have to start worrying about this Edison EMP. Fuse will be ready with the barrier. Alarm not quite there with the Transcendence. Funi focusing more on the objective, forcing GC Busan down. And now they're ready to engage. They start the rally, but the grab from Bernard, the dragon. There is the 4K. That setup they were looking for. Now they can advance to B.
Yeah, they actually just waited on Bernard, and that wound up being such a good decision because Bernard was able to get that last 40 or so percent so quickly. GC Busan Wave on the high ground still not able to shield from the pressure as Bernard was just kind of on an off angle and finding value there. So now they're just building into yet another one of those combos, and that's what they're looking for. They know that they need to play off of this as much as they possibly can to be able to win these fights concisely.
Yeah, they give up B, but GC Busan Wave have EMP Shatter. Maybe this is a better part of the map where you're not toying around on the staircase as much. We have flat ground where Ion can get this ready. There's the EMP. No Shatter follow-up actually from Ion. There were some people stuck into the room. He didn't find the ideal target. And Alarm, he's Transcendence. So now, Shatter plane goes in from Chongsik. Doesn't get much as Ion gets ready for his. Still takes care of Daydream though, and now you don't have that Lucio disengage, you don't have an EMP, but you have a Shatter, you have Ion and a grab. As GC Busan Wave equalize the numbers after losing 2 at the start.
Yeah, and look at that investment from Fusion University as well. Where GC Busan Wave, I mean, you saw them pull everything out, but look at this, Edison actually going on to the Hanzo himself. So now GC Busan Wave, they lose that fight. Fusion University going forward, very close to having that grab-drag combo. And not only that, but if they're able to pull that off, if Bernard can get that last little bit of ult charge that he needs, that last 20%, and they win this fight quickly, they're going to have a better time bank than GC Busan Wave.
GC Busan Wave, they have to recognize this Graviton Dragon. They need to just split themselves. You see a little bit towards the right and the left. But also Funi needs to advance his card a little bit deeper into the spawn. Ion's playing around the corner, looking for the ideal target. Bernard could get some extra ult charge for the grab too. There might be some time before they get it. So now, GC Busan Wave just don't want to waste time. Get that armor up from Alpha Yi. Ideally get Fielder's Transcendence if they can, but it's kind of shooting into a shield, not getting much there. Bernard now has the grab. You're looking for the setup from Nice. There's the grab, catching 2 or 3. The dragon right into it. Finds 2. And that should be enough for Fusion Uni, although they lost Alarm who had Transcendence, and now you don't have Chongsik. Fusion Uni, they gotta maybe reset at this point.
Yeah, they have to pull back. Fielder was able to get the trans up there, so they need Alarm. They have to rely on him here. Meanwhile, GC Busan Wave, they're building into a grab-drag combo of their own, so now Fusion University needs to be the ones kind of on the back foot, making sure that they're ready to deal with that when it does come out. Alarm can sustain them a little bit, maybe long enough for Fuse to get the sound barrier up, and then they can return fire with Nice and Bernard getting another one up.
Now Fusion Uni, they want to win this fight before this Graviton Dragon Strike comes out. Rely on the Transcendence for the engage from Alarm, but now the Graviton Dragon Strike is ready. Ritz throws it out, Edison lines them up, and gobbles up 3 members of the attack and more. But still, you've got these ultimates out, and Fusion Uni, they still have time.
Yeah, so GC Busan Wave, investing those 2 ults together in tandem, they also, in Alarm, actually using that Transcendence, they make sure that they equalize that there. So Fusion University, when they actually pull out that combo, GC Busan Wave won't have a defensive option to deal with it. So actually kind of smart from Fusion University to utilize the Transcendence in that way to make sure that GC Busan Wave matched them. Now, as they get this pick, 6v5 advantage, you got the Dragon Strike online. Bernard very close to having the Graviton available as well.
He should be able to get this as they move on in at the final part of Rialto. Actually, they throw out the Dragon without the Graviton. It goes towards the right. It gets nobody. Not the value they were looking for. As GC Busan Wave start to stabilize here with the Shatter. Fusion Uni losing too much too early. Quick reset. There'll be one last fight. They lost ice. They're gonna lose ice. Oh no!
Yeah, this is devastating again for Fusion University. You have at least Nice was able to stay alive a little bit longer and make sure that he got that Dragon Strike up a little bit further. But now you're trying to get into the point. You've already lost Fuse to the. They don't even touch. That's it.
Oh
Unlucky.
no! The
Jesus,
Graviton Dragon Strike, Heurix. You're gonna listen to me vent a little bit. That's twice now that they've missed this combo. The start of A. I know you're already hearing an earful of me. Now everyone else has to do it too. They missed this combo on point A, which is a big reason they lost that fight at the start. Took them extra time there, and all they had to do was line that up properly, and they could have gotten C. That is a 4-0 for GC Busan.
Yeah, that looked like Fusion University. They had the right idea, just needed to slow down a little bit, let it go into overtime if you have to. You have 25 seconds or so to play with at that last fight, and you unleash the Dragon Strike into a spawn door where they could just rotate back over to the other side or completely avoid altogether, and that's exactly what we saw. Otherwise, you wait for Bernard to get that last 20%, as we were talking about, go for that combo. They don't have a defensive option. There was no support ult available for GC Busan Wave, and you should have known that going into that last fight and been able to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, they didn't, and they lost yet another map.
Not the greatest showing from Fusion Uni, and I mean their only win this season has been against WGS in a game 5. So we were a lot of high expectations for Fusion Uni coming this season. But to reiterate again to everyone, they are still in 6th place despite this 0-4 loss. But now their match against Meta Athena next week will determine who gets that 6th place spot, the last playoff spot going in. So we'll see replays, but also, this is also good for GC Busan Wave. That 4-0 victory inches them closer into the standings, and now depending how Runaway do in this next match, will depend on maybe things shifting around there.
Yeah, because GC Busan Wave starting off at 2-2 and then being able to not just take the win against Fusion University, but being able to 4-0 them is huge for their map differential, because now, you know, starting into this week, they were 8-9 at a -1, but still at 2-2. But they go up +4. Now they're +3 overall. And if Runaway somehow drop this next game versus O2 Blast, which is certainly possible, they could steal away that 3rd place position and maybe start working their way forward and seeing if maybe in these last 2 weeks they could go even higher.
Well, and I've certainly been impressed by a lot of people from GC Busan Wave. Ritz, Edison, you're seeing on your highlights how you don't even need a nano to be amazing on Genji. And a bit surprised by the scoreline, but I think like we said before, that Elk now being replaced by Fuse, how was that comm structure going to look? And I think the answer is clear, that there were disconnects, not only in the hooks that we saw on Paris, but the Graviton Dragon Strikes. And you also mentioned the language barrier, where now I think most of the roster is Korean.
Yeah,
I think
5 out of 6
Snill's left. So maybe that's not as much of a factor now.
Yeah, and I wonder what exactly is going on behind the scenes with Fusion University. Like, have they shifted focus to going for that Korean approach because, you know, 5 out of their 6 members are used to that, and then maybe playing off of Snillo a little bit there. But otherwise, I'm not really sure. Maybe they keep the same structure and they're just integrating a new player into the system that's already existing. That's certainly just as possible, but either way, whatever they were doing here, it didn't work out. So GC Busan Wave, you have to give them credit nonetheless. They are a fantastic team, certainly very deserving of that 4th place position that they're currently sitting comfortably in.
And this is maybe a surprise, like looking at the standings, that not only have they beaten Fusion University, now 4-0, like kind of crushing the series. I'm really impressed. But they also beat Runaway, I think, in week 2, which was also a big surprising scoreline. So them, along with Meta Athena, definitely dark horses coming into the season. But we have more Overwatch around the corner, and I think this is the match of the center, at least the one I'm super looking forward to. O2 Blast versus Runaway. Said this at the start, the repeat of the semi-final where O2 Blast beat Runaway, and kind of changing that history for them. O2 Blast still looking good this season, I think still in 1st place. So we will turn to a quick break. When we get back, we'll have that match ready. See you soon.